Anybody else?
When you do the beanbags and you're talking about the sure voice,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I always have gotten confused about that in it changing, like your real voice changing. Like, do you know what
No.
I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, you know how when you're going through something sometimes and you ask a question and you don't want to hear your like real answer. Maybe
Right.
that's my question. Is
Okay.
the difference between the real answer and the last.
Okay, that's your real.
The real, right?
Okay.
So say like I'm going through something.
Okay, and that you're sure.
And I'm sure.
You're sure. You're gonna go do that. Woohoo, woohoo,
Right.
and I'm like going,
Mm-hmm.
right.
But I
Okay.
don't want to see what my real answer is because I've decided it's bad, and it really is bad. Let's
Mhm.
say, like it's like something I wouldn't want. You know.
What do you mean really bad?
Like something that would hurt somebody else.
Mm-hmm. But it's the right thing to do, or appropriate?
It's not the right thing to do. Like I'm in a seat or I'm in a.
Okay, so it's not really your real voice.
Okay, that's not the real voice.
That's not the real
It's your
voice.
real answer, but not the real voice.
Exactly.
That's just been confusing me for.
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe that.
This would be, you're sure you're gonna do something, right? That's not your real voice. That's your sure.
No, I know that's not the real voice.
Okay, so that wants to do it from here,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so and this, okay, so my question is this the good thing or the bad thing? Is this what you want to do? This is what you want to do,
Okay.
let's say. Okay, is it a good thing or a bad thing that you want to do?
To say a bad thing.
A bad thing. Okay, it's a bad thing. So that's a bad thing and you're sure you want to do it. Yeah, you do have that. Okay, and you're sure.
I don't have it now, but
I know.
Okay.
Okay, and you're sure you want to do it, and you're motivated and you have no problem doing it, right? Do you also hear the voice that says it's not a good thing?
Usually not.
Right.
But sometimes I can get a little bit of that.
Okay, so but normally you're sure.
Yeah.
So these guys disappear, right? So it's between this and here. Your real voice is what?
The yellow voice.
Okay. Your real answer, do you want to do it?
Yes.
Yes. Then what do? You know you want to do it. It's your sure voice. You know you want to do it. Okay?
Okay.
This hasn't even come in there. You're sure. Are you going to ask, is this the right thing to do?
No.
Then this doesn't even, that's over
But
here.
sometimes you do.
Well,
like-
I usually
Right, yeah, you do.
I
So
do.
then I'll have what I consider a real answer happen, or I'll hear it, or you'll help me hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But that answer is something that, well, number one, I wouldn't want to know or hear, because
Right, but this is already hidden under all these other things. We don't have,
Okay.
it's not there.
It's
Yeah.
sort of like,
Do you-
I sort of see what you,
Yeah, I know.
because it's like your real answer is not the true self's
Yes.
answer.
Yeah.
It
Never.
doesn't have any questions and it doesn't have any answers, doesn't need any answers. It's just what's honestly
Coming up.
before you repackage it or reject it or
Right.
deflect it or whatever.
Right.
But you have to know that
You
so
have
that you
to
can
know.
be with your real experience. But then
Then you
the
have
real
to
self
tell
is behind all that.
all of it. So you have
Right,
to go.
so-
So I'm going to tell a story, and I'll cloak it as best I can so that the person doesn't know or whatever. But many years ago, I was away overseas, and this person kept on calling me, wanting to talk to me, and it was not easy. And we finally came back to the States, and they called like instantaneously. I'm still in the car coming back, and from the airport. And they called me finally, right? And they said to me, I need to know if I want to do this one thing. I need to know if I want to send this. It was a letter. I want to send this letter. Well, this person's sure voice was absolutely, yes. It was a yes. You want to, yes, that was their honest answer. Did it mean that it was the right answer?
No.
Did it mean that it was discerning? No. I asked them if they wanted me to see the letter, and their answer was
No.
no. Did they want any kind of anything? No. They just wanted to know if they, in fact, wanted to send the letter. Was that their honest answer? And it was a yes. And they said thank you and hung up. They sent that letter. The person who received it sent it to me, and I was absolutely horrified. Horrified by the letter. I didn't see the person again. We went our merry ways. And they said, I hope at some point I'd understand. And I said, I think I understand. And they were like, whatever. But that was their sure voice, their honest answer. I said, but they didn't care.
And they didn't ask you whether it was the right thing to send.
No.
Whether
No,
real
they didn't
or
want
what.
me involved in it at all. That was not, there was no right and wrong. They just, whatever they did was what they wanted to do. Did they want to do it? Yeah, they absolutely. There was no ambivalence in their honest answer. Absolutely clear. Was it the right thing to do? No, it wasn't. But they didn't want to hear that. They weren't interested in that. There was nothing like that. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because sometimes I felt like when you let me know things that are underneath, then I can say, whoa, like I wasn't even, I'm over in the shore place.
Yeah, you're so far down
Right.
the shore voice that you're not
I don't
going
even
to.
know what my motivation for being that
Right.
even is until you say. So for me, it's an experience of something more real.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was getting confused about the yellow voice, about
Yeah.
The
The
true
true
voice.
voice. The true voice is different.
and then I feel like over time that changes, but
Yeah.
it's not that's changing.
This,
Right, changes.
as we clean up from here, as we clean up the vehicles, does this get cleaned up? Yes, which then this sure voice then reflects more of the true voice. That makes sense?
You know, as you said, one of the hardest things is hearing your real answer and not feeling guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I usually go,
you can do,
God,
you can
did
find
you
it
see
shocking,
what I just
yeah.
thought?
But that,
I laugh now. It's like, whoa. Yeah.
and it's really
absolutely.
hard because it's like, I know in my experience sometimes that the initial reaction a lot of times to that real answer, it's shocking, and it also makes you feel like you're a horrible person.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, you're not. That's just the answer that's coming up. Now, if you go and decide it's cool and you go act on it, that's a different matter.
That's a totally
That's
different.
what
That's what
actually-
that's
You know,
what you're talking
yeah.
about.
And that's
That's
sort
what-
of
And this is where I'm like, I don't have my wooden sword here right now, but that's where I'm like always, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So I've had a question. Well, this is dumb too, but it's the same piggyback.
Mhm.
It's almost like then there's the passivity element, you know, because I feel like sometimes I just won't make a decision. You know what I mean? And the excuse
Well, that's
is,
part of your.
Right.
That's a
And
decision.
and it's a decision, right?
That's
and
a decision. Not to
it's-
make a decision is a part of is to make a decision,
Right.
and that is part of the whole thing of wanting to be good. If you're good, you never make a decision. That's the game.
Right.
And so it's again back to what David was saying. You don't want to, it's horrifying actually seeing what you really want and what you really think and what you really, and for years, you think you haven't thought? It's like there are only just so many combinations of letters. and everybody has them. Everybody has them. So it's the question is, it's back to where, if we go to Heart of Darkness, does everybody have Kurtz in them? Yes. We all have Kurtz in us. We all have Kurtz. Marlowe knew he had Kurtz, but what stopped him?
Restraint, work.
Restraint and work, which is what you're talking about. Restraint and work. You go, the reflectiveness. What I end up being for you when you want to do that voice is I'm your reflectiveness. I'm the one that say, did you really want to do that? Is that something you really want to do? Is that that question? Because when we're sure, we don't question at all. It's just like boom.
Yeah, unconscious.
Unconscious. And so it takes work. And so the thing of that we're lawless is will we obey, or are we going to do it our way again? No, I'm going to do this. And is it, if we obey, are we willing to obey over a period of time, over a long period of time, where then what happens is this thing really does get ground down. It really does. It doesn't, and we get to hear are real, and then we know we're obeying, and we learn to obey our true self as opposed to this. That's why for centuries they always had teachers and gurus in order to that aren't just they decided to be, but are actually have the qualifications, and then their job is to make each person the guru, each person their state, so that it isn't that you obey now and you obey and then it's always going to be. It's that you learn how to obey you, who you really are.